wonderfully acted film that has this sort of passion for truth seeking that's contagious. And it left me thinking a lot about journalism today compared to the time then and even earlier. I was thinking about Woodward and Bernstein, All the President's Men, how that seemed to make such a big impact. But these days, it seems like so few people are listening when you speak truth to power. What do you make of that, and why do you think films like Words of War are still important even in this age of fake news and truth bending? Either of you?
Mark, do you want to start with that one? This is
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think it's for those very reasons that this film is so important. We are, these issues of suppression of the truth and persecution of journalists and governments dictating what is real and what isn't, and what journalists can report and what they can't. I mean, that level of propaganda is something that's becoming more pervasive, not less so. And so these are the very issues that Anna herself was fighting against when she was trying to truthfully report what was happening to the people of Chechnya under an authoritarian regime that wanted to control and only have journalists reporting the propaganda that they wanted. So I feel like this is tragically timely, which makes it even more important. This isn't a Russian issue. This is an issue that affects people here in America and around the world. So I feel like it's a tragically timely story, and one that I'm proud that we're able to share with Words of War to really spotlight this issue.
Do you have anything to add to that?
oh me. Well, I think I think it's really important that as filmmakers we kind of we shine a light on stories and events that are important, and it would be awful if people felt they didn't want to kind of go near certain topics and stuff because they were afraid that they would be censored, or that they wouldn't probably just get the financing they needed to make these films, make these stories and stuff. So it's a difficult time, but we've been before as artists and filmmakers and stuff, and kind of come through. So I think it just shows how important films are like this, and how much difference. I did a show called Mr. Bates versus the Post Office in the UK, and that we changed the law. The Prime Minister stood up 10 days after the show went out and changed the law, so that the impact of television, film, and the media and stuff is still very important and very tangible.
Very good. I love the balance of conflict in the personal and the professional between her calling and her existing family. And it reminds me of a piece in LA Times I read last month with Eric Swalwell, where he was talking about needing security because of what he says publicly, threatening his family, sort of the ramifications of his stance. And it reminds me just of the decisions Anna is making, and that difficult balance, and her husband really not wanting her to do it because it's so dangerous. Could you talk about incorporating that domestic drama element and why that was important, James?
I think it's what was drew me to the script, actually, because there's the bio version of this where you concentrate brilliant on her brilliant career and her achievements, and the war in Chechnya, and you sort of gloss over her personal life. What I love about the approach of the script by Eric was that it's a balance. It's 50-50 with her, the impact of what she was doing on her family, on her marriage, on her children, on her colleagues. Even they were kind of like affected by what she was up to. And I think it's a really interesting kind of dilemma that she had, that she was passionate about what she believed and what the truth that she had to tell, but also how do you balance that when you see a tangible impact on your husband, on the people you love, and and I think it's an interesting kind of dramatic tension that plays out in the film, is the difficult relationship, the difficult kind of consequences, if you like, that it brought down on her family, who particularly children who didn't perhaps choose to be kind of thrust into the light like that, or to be affected by it. It's really kind of interesting, and it it shows again the all-encompassing kind of impact that Anna had professionally and personally on the world.
Yeah, and that's a universal thing. I mean, taken to it's extreme, but the idea of a career and a family and trying
Yeah.
to, the way those things conflict. Anything to add, Mark, before I have to let you go?
Yeah, I mean, I think for all these reasons, this is what makes Anna's story so compelling. The courage that she showed and her dedication to try to truthfully report what was happening in the world around her and the impact that had on her and her family and her loved ones, and yet she still persevered and carried on and was ultimately silenced. And I think that's a message that people should be reminded of. And hers is a story worthy of remembering. And hopefully, the people will see this film and have a better appreciation for the fact that 1,800 journalists have been killed since the start of the century. And, we need a free press. We need people that can speak truth to power because attacking on the truth is attacking all our freedoms. So,
Yeah. Finally, do you worry this film is the future of America or where we're heading?
I hope not. I mean, the film is not political. This isn't
Yeah.
talking about a political party or ideology. It's just about these issues of freedom of speech and bringing truth to the people and those that wish to suppress that. So, in so much as that may or may not apply to what's happening in America right now, I think is part of the tragedy, which is what makes this film even more important and why I hope everyone sees Words of War.
Thank you. Same. Thank you for discussing it and for making it, both of you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you,
Have a
Matt.
Take
good
care.
one.